Hey guys, how's it going? It's Danconia here, and yes, my constant drive for more content on the channel has brought me to this. It's time to rant about my 5 most hated heroes in Overwatch. Hee hee! So, we now have over 30 heroes in this game, and so there is a fairly big roster to choose from. A lot of heroes have their ups and downs in terms of abilities, but that is for another video. This one is all about the heroes I hate the most, and it could be for a variety of reasons. I'm going to be quite honest with you. This list was not that hard to come up with. So let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree, and also tell me your top 5 most hated heroes in Overwatch. We are going to start from number 5. Here we have the most popular hero to hit the game in the past 3 years. Yes, it's Brigitte Lindholm. Now, why might this hero be on the list, and what might be wrong with her? Well, what hasn't been wrong with her? The biggest problem I had with Brig was that originally she could shield bash through barriers, which coincided with me being a Rhine main, and hey. If we'd still been in that timeline, she would have been top of this list. In recent times, since her rework, she has fallen down on the lists, and basically she is a trash hero now. The reason she is still on the list is because she's still very effective at shutting down flankers, and I do like playing Tracer, so when there is a Brig on the field, I have to, rethink my life choices. She can still be very frustrating to play against, especially for some heroes, and that's why she makes it onto this list at number 5. So these days, I'm much more relaxed about Brigitte than I used to be, but now we start to get to the heroes that really tilt me from time to time. Do you know what's so annoying? Spoilers. They are all fairly meta right now. So, coming in at number 4 on my list, it's the guy who splashed up Numbani, the finger-clicking one-punch man himself, Doomfist. So you might be saying, well, what's so bad about Doomfist? And I would say, where have you been living for the past few months? I must admit, I have an incredible amount of fun when there's a big melee, on which both teams are fairly grouped up, and all of a sudden a rocket-powered gauntlet comes at me and tears me a new rear passage. TOS. YouTube. I'm not swearing. You don't see it coming, but one minute you're playing the game and the next minute you're watching the replay of your death. Oh, but it doesn't end here. It gets especially frustrating when you get caught in the chain of a CC from Doomfist. Stunned from the seismic slam, stunned from the uppercut, stunned from the rocket punch. Yes, you could go McCree and stun him, but if you don't get there first, you're as good as dead. The current meta has only furthered my frustration with Doomfist, but he's not the most frustrating hero, so he is settling at number 4. So we hit the midway point in our list, and for the rest of the heroes, I'm gonna pick out, we go back to the original roster of heroes that was released in 2016, so that also means that they have been the most annoying for the longest. So yeah, fun. The next hero on the list is a corker though. Let me set the scene. You have set up your defense, the opponent's attack round begins. All of a sudden you're dead. The question is, what killed you? No one was near, the round had barely begun, but you find yourself back in spawn. Well, you see in the replay that you were killed across the map by none other than a stray Hanzo Sonic Arrow. Yes, the third on this list is Hanzo. Now in my opinion, the current Hanzo is just as bad as the old Scattershot Hanzo. I still will never understand why Blizzard have not tuned Hanzo yet. He does too much damage, and I will never understand why Storm Arrows are allowed to do headshot damage. Most, if not all, Overwatch players know exactly what it feels like to be domed by a Hanzo arrow which was never even aimed at you. If you're a tank player, and your team is playing with a singular shield against a Hanzo, well, good luck in trying to manage that barrier yourself. The only things I cannot find wrong with Hanzo are his leap and his Sonic Arrow. Again, Sonic Arrow doing the same damage as every other arrow that Hanzo produces is a bit questionable, but hey, we'll roll with it. Honestly, I think Hanzo is one of the most broken heroes in the game right now, and if Blizzard go to war with barriers because of the barrier meta right now, I think Hanzo might well ruin the lives of many Overwatch players in the future. I'm looking forward to it. Blizzard, I'm really looking forward to it. Hee hee, I'm gonna love it. Okay, so here are our last 2 heroes on the list. The question is, who is number 1? Who is my most hated hero in Overwatch? Well, wait, because gotta have number 2 first. Coming in at number 2, it will be the hero that I've hated since the first time I played against her, and it doesn't matter which of her 7,309,069 reworks she's had, she still is just as frustrating to play against as ever. Yes, number 2 is Symmetra. Now, the most annoying thing that used to tilt me about Symmetra was her old beam, that used to lock on no matter what she was aiming at. That was frustrating. It wouldn't matter whether she was looking at you or not. She would still be locking onto you and doing damage. Man, those days were tough. Thankfully, this isn't in the game now. Now we have a different Symmetra who is equally annoying as the one before. So, my most frustrating thing about Symmetra is her turrets. Why do they slow? It is one of the most annoying things in the game. I have no problem with the damage they do, but that coupled with the slow means that they are so annoying to play against, especially if you are a Reinhardt main like I used to be, or a hero similar, which doesn't have the range to eliminate turrets effectively. You just have to slowly move while being slowed and then damaged, and unless your supports have got your back, it's going to be a painful trip straight back to spawn. That and probably a new set of peripherals, which now find themselves in many more pieces than they were before on the other side of the room. The next problem with the new Symmetra is her ultimate. The idea was innocent enough, but as soon as she uses her US immigration policy... Wait. Wall. Sorry. As soon as she uses it, you might as well put down your weapons and watch the light show, as you're not going to be able to muster up the DPS to get through its ginormous health pool, and, well, you're probably going to struggle to aim at anything anyway, because you're going to be disorientated by the light show going on in front of you. So, Symmetra is number 2, and honestly, it is very close between her and the number 1, but the number 1 is just that bit more horrible to play against. And the worst thing is that this hero can be annoying when you have one on your team, let alone the enemy team. So we've looked at some pretty horrible heroes during this video, but honestly, the number 1 on this list just takes the biscuit, and to be quite honest, I don't think there are many people who would disagree with me, and some of you might have already guessed who is in this spot. It is safe to say that this hero should be made to burn in the deepest depths of hell. Don't let her frosty appearance fool you, she is the devil incarnate. Yep, it's May. I mean, who else was going to take the number 1 spot? She always has been one of the most hated heroes in the game, and believe me, there is no shortage of things I can complain about with this hero. So, the icicles that she shoots out of her endothermic blaster have the same problem as Hanzo. Although some people just do have very good aim, there is always that stray icicle that wasn't meant for you. It just takes your head off and that's you back in spawn. Obviously completely outplayed. Right? Do you remember how I didn't like the slow of Symmetra's turrets? Well, there is one thing worse than that in the game. May's primary fire. The Overwatch devs once said that they did not want to take control away from the player as they thought it wasn't a good playing experience. I'm sorry? Hello? You put a hero in the game that slows people with her primary fire, eventually freezing them in place for her to sadistically laugh while putting an icicle in your head, while you can do nothing about it. Because you had your control taken away from your hero. It's like a bad freaking joke, Blizzard. Rework this stupid hero, she literally causes misery to thousands of players. Okay, I needed to calm down. Her ice block is whatever. The only ability that I don't have complaints about, so savour that one. Lastly, we have the wall, and no, I'm not going to make that joke again. The wall is not only a problem for the enemy team, it's also a problem for your team. To play against it, it's just obnoxious and, as a tank main, damn right infuriating when you get cut off because your team doesn't move with you. But when you have a mate on your team, if they don't communicate or at least sensibly place their walls, you will often find yourself, or one of your teammates, cut off by your own teammate because the maze walled them off, preventing them from getting back to the team and isolating them. At this point, the maze should just jump off the map, because you are literally throwing the game. and you deserve all of the flack you're about to get on the comms. If you're in voice chat, obviously. That is what puts Mei at the top of this list. She can not only be damn awful to play against... Wait. No, not can. It's always awful to play against, but she can seriously hinder your own team as well. Honestly, if Blizzard ever announce a rework of this hero, I will create a shrine to Jeff Kaplan himself next to my setup and worship it every day. Anyway, enough of me ranting. There are some honourable mentions, like Genji. You can come up against a good Genji and it can be incredibly frustrating, but then that's just being good at a certain hero, so it wasn't going to make it onto this list. Moira and Roadhog could have been on this list, but it would have only been because of Deathmatch. Those heroes, in Deathmatch, trigger me. Really badly. Reaper was a very close one to being on this list, but there's also Sombra. But that's all because of her hack, and so maybe she can have a spot on another potential list. Speaking of lists, if you have your own lists, then let me know in the comments below or give me your opinion on my list. I said list too many times in this video, it's doing my head in. If you think I am right or wrong, let me know. Also, let me know if you have any other lists you want me to do. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video. See you then.